Mike.
57, 5'7". Both are prime, but the combo is not. Am I in my prime? Is there still enough time? What does it mean to turn 57? I gotta change things up. It's Friday night, December 30th. Tonight I'm feeling a little dirty. 2 weeks to 57. Target pushes an ad for ladies' underwear. Do I want a pair for myself? Switch it up? A new bottom game? Is that kind of lame? Hell no. I've wanted to do this for so long. I'm gonna buy myself a thong. Tap, 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 I'm in the app. Why just one when the deal's for 5? All of a sudden I'm feeling alive. Such a rush for just 15 bills. Could this be the start of some feminine thrills? Tomorrow I'll know if all this feels wrong. Tonight I'm excited. I just bought 5 thongs. I thought that purchase would lead me on a new journey to explore an old kink for ladies' lingerie. I've always loved the look of lingerie, PPN catalog since my teens. What does this mean? Can I finally admit I want to dress up my curves, get over the nerves, let myself be the sexy object of my desire? My kink no longer repressed. Will I get obsessed with garters and corsets and tight black fishnets, wear satin and lace and make up my face in my personal space for only me to enjoy? Tonight, an epiphany. I realize that wearing lingerie will limit her need to emerge. This trans femme persona who's on the verge of something much bigger than my bedroom. Enter Alisha, who is singularly keen on buying dresses and tights to be worn and be seen. I relinquish my privacy for her feminine supremacy, to give her agency to determine what's best for me. This is not about kink, it's more about pink, t-shirts and shoes. Listen, here's the news. 3 weeks on this journey, I'm out to the world. Part masculine girl, part feminine boy. In a way, there's great joy. 4 weeks in, she's switching out my polo shirts for blouses and skirts, and I love the new feel that my shoes all have heels. Some purchased on Amazon so I can dress like the Amazon warrior I was meant to be. Alisha is radiant, happy, and free. This is all about clothing made from hair. Thoughts bubble up and I'm no longer scared. I look in the mirror and WTF? I see MTF and I'm loving it. Alisha and Lisa on a race to reveal my true feminine self. This is so surreal. Yet these intense feelings I cannot fight. Instead I choose to run towards the light. 6 weeks in, I've yet to buy a garter or a camisole. But these feelings are strong, rocking my soul. I am transgender. I can no longer deny. To come out of this time, I still don't know why. With clarity, one thing's for sure. It was never about the lingerie. Has your life ever turned on a dime after making one small change? Mine did when I made the decision to seek a little bit of happiness, buying myself something fun on New Year's Eve 2022. Wearing my new underwear was just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, I'll admit it. This kink wasn't new. I had played in my wife's lingerie drawer for years. Each time I indulged in the transgression, the initial thrill of ecstasy quickly morphed to shame and long bouts of remorse. This time, without shame, the guilty pleasure turned into something much deeper. I was ready to take the bold step and fully dress as a woman. Have you ever forced a conversation with your spouse worried it would go terribly wrong? I needed to tell my wife. Past secrets had become toxic. I needed to come clean right away. Just a week later, I asked to talk. Understandably, the revelation shocked her. Let me get this straight. Other than the lingerie, how long have you known you want to wear women's clothing? It's new. Never felt this way before. And I promise I won't be seen outside the house until I have a refined look with clothing, makeup, and a wig. As she abruptly left the room, my wife motioned not to follow. A pit grew in my stomach. I braced myself. She returned, holding a pistachio green dress. It's got a flowing design. It'll conform to almost any body shape and size. I think it'll fit you. I love it. Trying on the dress was my gateway drug to gender euphoria. Oh my God, the chest hair. I mean, I'll be in the bathroom for 2 hours. Every bit of body hair has to go. That night, wearing the dress, I came out to my 2 boys and shared that I wanted to be called Alisha when I dressed them. Both of them queer, they readily accepted this change. My older son, who lived away, proclaimed, "Alisha, you must come to San Francisco. I'll plan a drag everything weekend." My younger son, who lives at home, shared, "I hear the LGBTQ Center has a weekly Zoom meeting for trans and non-binary newbies. I'll see if I can find you the link." Several weeks in, my wife noted my growing joy and would later say, she saw the genie come out of the bottle and knew it wasn't going back in. By the end of January, I accepted that I was transgender. In February, I came out to my mom as I was driving her to a doctor's appointment, my 86-year-old mom. "Darling, I don't want to talk about my surgery. Tell me, what's new with you?" "I got together last week with my high school buddies, Mike and Tony." "Did you tell them what you're doing?" "What do you mean?" "Did you share that you're starting to wear women's clothing?" "Mom, it's more than that. I'm transgender." "No, you don't want to do that. You just turned 57 at your age. You don't want to put your body through all those surgeries. Going on hormones will take a physical toll. You might lose your job. What's going to happen to your marriage?" "Slow down. You're going full mama bear on me. This is about me being happy. I'm not ready to talk about surgery. I'm shutting this conversation down now. I don't need this negative energy before I leave for San Francisco tomorrow." "Well, I'm sorry. Your mother doesn't want to see her child's life get ruined." It's 3 a.m., February 24th, this year. I'm 45 days into a journey I didn't know I was meant to take. It's an ungodly hour, and I'm still wide awake. Closed down the bars, went back to my hotel. I should be off to bed, but what the hell? Away from my wife, I'm standing before this beautiful woman whom I didn't know I was meant to meet. Oh, I know what you're thinking. This guy's just another cheat. Her 4-inch wedge heels placed on the floor, her Ferragamo clutch dropped near the door. I take a look in the mirror. I feel my heart race. That angelic hair, that beautiful face. I'm enthralled by her sultry voice, strained from talking over the barroom cacophony all night long. I'm enamored with her colorful choice of a purple dress and white pearls, too elegant for this small, ill-lit room. I'm enraptured by her radiant smile, outlined by faded lipstick, energizing the air. I'm entranced by her elegant style as our eyes lock in an unending stare. If this sounds like adultery, the tale gets more sultry. I declare, I never want this night to end. Please think about your wife. Does your marriage need this strife? Some actions you just can't defend. Yet I'm in the room alone, just an image on my phone. You think she's an imaginary friend. You couldn't be farther from the truth. There's nothing sordid about this moment. She's real, her presence intense. Through the first 45 days of courtship, I've only caught glimpses of her. But today I shed all pretense. This beautiful she is a transformation of me, who's been in my soul all along. As I let her reign free, I'm now meant to be feminine, prideful, and strong. This day started with a makeover. The night ends with a do-over of a life that's lived 57 years in one incarnation. Moreover, tonight my egg cracked, and I can never go back, because I have some new information. Alicia's outward beauty exceeds my expectation, but doesn't come close to matching the inner light she's graced upon me this past 6 weeks. I'm not just coming out female, I'm coming out happy. I'm filled with self-love. I fill others with joy. I'm radiant with pride. So come along for the ride, as I'm building a better me, whose pronouns are her, hers, and she. Have you ever felt like your foundation's cracking? My son delivered on the Queer as Fuck weekend. We did drag bingo, brunch, and melodrama. I booked Maria, a makeup artist with 20 years experience, who specialized in male-to-female transformation makeovers. My son came along to photograph and document the entire 6-hour session. Afterwards, we celebrated bar hopping all night long with his friends in the Castro. Who's in it for the 80s tunes? Okay. At 2 a.m. I returned to my hotel room and stood admiring myself in the hallway mirror for 90 minutes. Breathtaking. I never thought I could look so beautiful with just makeup. You're as beautiful on the outside as I feel on the inside. I literally don't want this night to end. After I take off the makeup, how long will it be before I see you again? Months? Years? I don't have any makeup skills. I don't want to see you go. I could no longer deny my truth. My egg had cracked. I left San Francisco wanting to live as Alisha full time. I deliberately started leaning into things that brought me joy, which I labeled running towards the light. As my wife supported me, she felt the secure life she knew crumbling beneath her feet. Honey, I'd like to be fully out of work by the end of April. It's awkward that some people know and others don't. Are you okay with that? Oh, Alisha, you be you. I don't want to get in the way of your joy. Just promise we'll talk before you come out to the rest of our family and our longtime friends. I'm not ready for that. In mid-April, as I prepared to reintroduce myself as Alisha to an in-person leadership meeting, just one question loomed. Am I passing? Time is passing. So slowly, I think I can watch the growing grass. And I wonder, what does it mean to pass? Time is passing. For years I've passed time, day by day. Too much work, not much play, passing months, passing hours. Feeling listless, sour as hewing sunsets and fragrant flowers. All this privilege, yet often mad. Income and assets don't stave off sad. Not depressed, but feeling trapped. And all along, time was passing. Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions of life without purpose? Late 2022 marked a long slide toward apathy. It started years earlier and accelerated during COVID. Just going through the motions, I internalized my misery, but refused to dig deeper. Outwardly, I acted as if nothing were wrong. In late December, I was due for a second prostate biopsy in 3 years. A November MRI had found spots of interest. For 6 weeks, I convinced myself I had cancer and started weighing the treatment risks, including the loss of sexual function. Would that translate to losing my manhood? Would that matter? Inexplicably, I felt at peace. More than anything, I just wanted to find a little bit of happiness. I've lived my whole life as one big lie. I was always a girl, but presented as a guy. Now I'm ready to come out. In fact, I'm ready to shout. I'm a beautiful, vibrant woman. Yet as I walk about, others make me doubt. I'm passing. You're a girl with a beard, isn't that kind of weird? Your voice is a bass. It doesn't match your made-up face. Your boobs are fake. You've got no hips. Without Botox in your lips, how can you be passing? My brothers and sisters, does passing mean perfection? Because after reflection, I see an infection caused by the intersection of cishet norms and cultural storms. Once the toxin forms in our brains, we are not good enough. If I feel I can't pass, it starts a tailspin, and I box myself into a standard of thin and unblemished skin, only wearing what's in, with a plastered-on grin. What if passing's a standard I can never attain? Is all this in vain? Am I relegated to the pain of living in the wrong body for several more years, confounding my fears that I will never live the life I was meant to have? No! Hell no! It's me who dictates my best self. I decide if I'm clocked or stealth. I reclaim my mental health. Play the best with the hand I'm dealt. Do I pass or double down? Fix on a wig, don a gown. Flip a smile from a frown, live it up, go out to town. But wait, herein lies my power. Every minute, every hour. I'm 57, in my prime. My trans self redefined. As a woman so divine, my love for self so sublime. Now internally aligned. Never again just passing time. If I wait to be passing, I deny myself living the authentic life that I have the right to decide for myself. Yes, hell yes, I decide for myself and you for yourself. And we are our best selves, being heard, being seen as we are. Perfection not required. I don't have time for others to decide I'm passing. Because right now, I'm focused on living. Has the fear of rejection ever stopped you from trying something new? In March, I started converting journaled thoughts into poetry for the first time in my life. I had delighted close family and friends for years with my personal narrative pieces and always balked at their encouragement to get published. My My vehement fear of rejection hindered any chance for success. Suddenly, with just 3 poems written, I started hunting for opportunities to perform them. Oddly, I found the San Diego Poetry Slam, a judged competition. For someone who feared rejection, having their work instantaneously judged seemed insane. But I wasn't the same person. Beyond my gender transition, embracing my strengths and facing my fears fueled a personal transformation. I started to experience genuine happiness for the first time I could remember. Unfortunately, this didn't permeate all aspects of my life. My partner of 37 years grew more detached. While she fully supported my transition, being in my physical presence caused her extreme discomfort. In late April, she asked to separate. Can't we give it a little more time? I've become the best version of myself. I've gotten rid of all my negativity and pessimism. Alisha, I'm thrilled you found your best self. But the more light you shine, the more I feel like I'm living in darkness. I'm sorry, it's too hard for me to be around you. I need space to breathe. On May 6th, she moved out. I leaned into my poetry. 2 days later, I performed Passing at my first slam. The audience enthusiastically embraced the piece, and the judges moved me to the second round. Success felt intoxicating. Did I leave wanting more of the same? Yes, please. I leaned into my work. I found sanctuary in my work family. I felt free to share my transition and my poetry. One day, as we were waiting for others to join a Zoom meeting, I playfully asked my coworker, Melanie, how do you address me when I'm wearing a dress? She laughed. Alisha, sounds like you need to write another slam poem. When I'm wearing a dress, how do you address me? The world's changed, I know it's strange. When I'm wearing a dress, do you address me as a she? It's a personal choice. Some conform, others go freeform, but leave your opinions unformed on something that's personal to me. When I wear a dress, I want to be addressed by the pronouns I have chosen. Not by your opinions or your prejudices, not by your political slants or your sideways glance, again judging me when all I'm trying to do is my best. When I wear a dress, I invest in myself, the respect I deserve as the gender I'm meant to be. Does that make you less free? Because in America, if I impinge on your freedom, that might be a crime. Yet here in my dress, I'm the oppressed, not you. Is this about the bathrooms? Because your mind will be blown if you've ever flown. You've been using gender-neutral pronouns for ages, and yet you rage. Does that drop your jaw? Well, here's the flaw. When I gotta pee, I'm not really free to decide where I go. I freeze in my tracks, and I do all the math. And I have to fear wrath just to do a simple biological task. I build up my gumption and head for a stall. Did I make the right call? Will this choice be my fault because you have the gall to ridicule me every time I go pee? How will you address me when I'm wearing a dress? As I watch loving families torn apart by those who hate and make trans kids wards of state, while their legislative slate lacks legitimate debate, only mongering dark fears tuned to fascist-leaning ears, harking back the good old years when racism, homophobia, and misogyny were accepted white male standards. How will you constrain me when I'm wearing a dress? Will you throw me in jail while your dictator rails? There's no doubt he will fail. Because trans freedom is not an affliction or perverted addiction. From the binary we elope as beacons of hope, here to spread love, not cause friction. How should you address me when I'm wearing a dress? How about with the respect that my gender care does not need to be snared in the crossfire of politics? In a nation obsessed with vanity, it's utter insanity that some want to restrict plastic surgery only for trans young adults. Here's their claim. The undeveloped brain of those under 25 can't possibly decide what's best for themselves. But a bro on IG is perfectly free to get all surgery just to reinvent himself. For us, it's not being vain. It's living daily in pain with nothing more to gain than a bit less dysphoria. Yet Susie Q on TikTok can increase the size of her flock, and no center will block her right to big tits in euphoria. So when you take our kids and then block our care, you create further despair, make life harder to bear, which is gross and unfair to a group that's prone to suicide. Have you ever wished you could look into the future and see you'll be okay? Looking back on 2023, I'm struck by my bravery, forging forward full throttle, while around the country, state legislatures passed scores of anti-trans bills. My response was to put it into my poetry. By mid-2024, how do you address me felt over the top, exaggerated. Courts had blocked the most extreme legislation, and federal protections held firm. As October approached, I started to feel uneasy. The vitriol against trans folk was attracting voters. On November 5th, my greatest fear came to fruition. We elected a brazen authoritarian who used dehumanizing rhetoric to describe people like me. My initial response was to formulate a series of contingencies, including a plan to leave the country. I had the resources to live a frugal life in exile, but something felt wrong. My writing revealed a hard truth. Leaving was the equivalent of erasing myself, silencing my own voice in a far-off land. That was my former self speaking. The female warrior in me chose to crank up the volume. I recognized this was a moment I was born to step into. I had yet to personally experience hate and vitriol. My family and workplace fully supported me. I reconnected with an idea that first manifested midway through 2023, my first year in transition. Seek the light and lead with joy. I'm 6'2" and in the best shape of my adult life. And I've never been more scared for my personal safety. I used to have height privilege, white privilege, walk away from a fight privilege. Something a white guy can do, right? Cease to present as a privileged male. Society sees you as one big fail. They put a target on your back, force you to take all their flack, because in their mind, you don't stack. Up to their liking, you deserve a spiking. Everyone's a Viking. Pillaging your rights, these terrorists unite. Make you fight or flight. Why is this my plight? Are they jealous of my happiness, my radiance, my friendliness? If I could bottle my joy. When I wear a dress, I feel my best. Can't tell you why, it makes me feel high. High as a kite, floating on air. High as a stoner, without any cares. High as a mountaintop, capped with white snow. I'm an elegant lady, no longer your bro. If I could bottle my joy. When I came out this year, didn't hurt anyone, didn't step on their toes, didn't hamper their fun. I embraced my best self, a female. So what? Broke out of the doldrums of a decades-long rut. Yet others despise me, they hate me, chastise me. And this is their mantra. Trans history, obliviate. Trans healthcare, obliterate. School lessons, eliminate. Trans people, eradicate. Yet I'm undeterred. When they try to deter me, I'll justify them, mystify them with magnanimous laughter. Keep turning the page of this special new chapter. I see life as fleeting, so I keep on speeding towards this luminous light every day, every night. My end goal in sight. I can follow my joy. I now love myself like I haven't in years. Dress as I like, despite feeling fear. I'm happier, healthier, as a girl reassigned. All of this comes from being internally aligned. My joy bubbles up. It's my fountain of youth. I'd like to share it. If you'll just hear my truth, I could bottle my joy. I could bottle my joy and serve it to you. Angry white man, would you silence my voice? If I could package my happiness and mail it to you, angry cis man, would you restrict my choice? I could bottle my joy. Would you terrorize me? No, you glorify me. Hold me high and regard me. I could bottle my joy. Would you persecute me? No, you worship me, welcome me, learn from me. If I could bottle my joy, you wouldn't berate me. Instead, elevate me. You let me be, set me free. You could drink up this joy. You want to befriend me. Stop living with envy. Not want to erase me. Step up and stand with me. If I could bottle my joy, would you try it and see? Have you ever had a breakthrough moment? You finally feel seen in the eyes of your parents? In July, Mom joined me at the San Diego Poetry Slam, where I performed The Night My Egg Cracked, my poem about that night in front of the mirror in San Francisco. I relished the feeling of making the second round again, and that night I placed second overall. As I left to go get my car, 2 audience members approached and congratulated me for finding my joy and authenticity. We all hugged. Mom beamed, watching the entire interaction. Alisha, the crowd loved you. Right, Mom? It's like I feel my life. Protected access stage. This is why I love performing. Darling, were those your friends who stopped you on the way out? No. Complete strangers being completely kind. Alisha, I'm so proud of you. Mom, I'm proud of you too. You know, it's hard stopping to my birthday after all these years. I love seeing the huge shift from the protective mama bear who in February admonished me not to risk my good life. Hearing her say my name was music to my ears. Feeling full of positive energy freed me up to use poetry to explore some more difficult episodes in my life, including unresolved childhood trauma. My Father, who art in heaven, I absolve you. But why did you befriend him? You couldn't have known. Predators prey. Holy Father, who art in heaven, I revere you. But why do you create them? Evil to the bone. Predators prey. They also pray, invoking your name. It's all a game while young lives get maimed, because predators prey. My Father, I just wanted to protect you. You couldn't have known how predators prey, but that doesn't stop me going back to the day when the two of you met, his evil plan set. If I could be in that room, see him starting to groom You, this man who knew nothing but love, wore his heart on his sleeve, who would never believe another human would thieve his younger son's childhood. But predators prey. Yes, predators prey, and what would I say to push you away from his presence? Would I tell you who plagued me all of my life, come between everything, even me and my wife, try to enter my body but stop with his head? There'll be times in my life I hung on by a thread, woke up countless mornings, feeling vacant with dread. He blew me just once, but what blows my mind, that night never ends, it haunts me over time. First it was months, then it was years, now it's been decades and it's still causing fear. Fear to move forward, fear of success, fear to be intimate, fear to express my own authenticity. Take a road to simplicity. Fail to see your complicity in setting me up as that predator's prey. Enough is enough. I've let one night define me for way far too long. No span of time rights that predator's wrong. I let myself go there. It's that old siren song that holds me back. Back to that day, back to that night, back to that choice. Do I fight or flight? Didn't do either. Just let him go down. Down on me hard, down on my life. It's been 44 years and it's still causing strife. Still gives me nightmares. Still makes me shiver. Sometimes I just want to drink, but I've got a bad liver. That night still defines me, upends me, reminds me, because I let it. Because I fucking let it. Life is more, and 44 is too many years lost, too high of a cost, in brain cells and hours. It's time to stop giving that evil creep power. I'm gonna roar, not hold back and cower. The roar makes you wonder, what does that mean? I confess, I was raped at the age of 13. In front of this crowd, I shouted out loud, still standing proud, my dark secret avowed. It wasn't my choice, because predators prey. I'll no longer keep quiet till all predators pay. Have you ever felt like you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders? I first performed Predator's Prey as the lead poem in a 3-round slam on August 14th. The winner of that slam is here tonight. The performance felt like an exorcism. The emotionally charged delivery advanced me to the final round, propelled me on a 3-day adrenaline high. A massive weight lifted, releasing 4 decades of bottled up negative energy. As I came down from the high, a profound sense of gratitude settled in for my former self, especially that scared, confused teen who lied when confronted by his parents at age 15. If I tell the truth now, will they punish me for covering up such a huge lie for 2 years? Will they stop me from getting my license because I'm weak and can't defend myself? Will they question what type of boy gets molested? Dad, Mom, nothing happened. So started a life where I felt so alone as I struggled with difficult decisions. I convinced myself that nobody believed in me or wanted to help. I lost self-confidence and viewed myself as that person that gives up when things got difficult. Yet somehow, that scared boy and that self-doubting adult version of my former self held it together through many pitfalls. They paved the way for the authentic me to emerge. They could finally rest and take the darkness with them, allowing Alisha's light to shine as a beacon for others. Did I ask you? This is my friend Rose. Catching our breath at the end of a queer women's dance, my friends and I sat around the table with some lovely ladies we had met earlier. Tell me about your tattoos. I love to hear people's stories about their body art. Her fingers instinctively slid over the ink as she described how the vibrant butterflies signified beauty, change, and metamorphosis. I wanted them big enough to cover up a lot of scars. Someday I'll finish the sleeve. Self-harm, I thought to myself. What can you tell me about the other arm? One large piece starting at the inside of her elbow, extending 4 to 5 inches towards her wrist. Just when I got when I was having a rough time. Now I'm having a rough time again. She rubbed the ink and reflected. I've been looking at it a lot lately. This last phrase was poured out in a hushed tone. She didn't want to release the words, but felt compelled to. Without hesitation, I grasped her hand, locked my fingers over hers, looked at her directly. Do you want to talk about what's going wrong? No hesitation. The volume in her voice strengthened. Feeling confident and connected, she filled in more personal details. She had struggled to come out for years. This year she finally accepted herself. She smiled with self-admiration. I inquired kindly, were the scars due to self-harm as you struggled with your true identity? She nodded in affirmation. She asked if we could hug. A warm smile stretched across my face. She felt heard. She felt safe. She felt Alisha's light. Have you ever felt like you have some sort of magnetic power that draws people in? That night, I felt empowered to bring my light to the woman at the dance. After a series of encounters where I attracted complete strangers. Standing perplexed in front of the size 11 plus shoe rack at Ross, another shopper approached me, took off her sunglasses, looked me in the eye and smiled. Honey, you're never going to find your size here. You need to go to the rack. Head to Northeast Mission Valley, go all the way to the back of the store. Big girl shoes are on the right-hand side. Save those for later. Taking a stroll down the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Catwoman cosplayer with a thick accent walked up to me. Usually people approach me, but your energy made me walk across this crowd to you. Your smile's radiant. It draws people in. In September, I delivered my first poetry headline with my mom, who's here tonight, stepdad, younger son, and 16 friends in the audience. To mine and my mom's delight, I was showered with praise. My friends were shocked to learn I only started performing in May. In October, Mom required another surgery. I visited her at the hospital the next day. As I walked in the room, she turned to the nurse at her bedside. I'd like to introduce you to Alisha, my daughter. I was gobsmacked, speechless. I sat quietly taking in the moment. We chatted chatted about how she was feeling post-surgery, but Mom refused to talk about the grieving. I stepped out to use the restroom and capture my breath, collect my thoughts, returned and sat next to her bedside. Mom, I've been thinking a lot about titles like son and daughter. I can demand your respect and insist that you use my new name and pronouns, but the title daughter is yours to give. It made me feel so special when you introduced me that way. I'm not sure if I ever thought I'd hear you say that. Alisha, I love seeing you happy. There's nothing more important to me. I love seeing a beautiful woman you become. Why would I do anything to dim your light? There is nothing more powerful than mother's love. In November, I traveled for the first time as Alisha by myself and stayed with a friend in Honolulu. I organized my itinerary searching for drag shows and open mics, not snorkeling spots like I'd done on every previous trip with my family. At Hula's, a queer bar in Waikiki, I performed a 3-poem set. As I stepped off stage, a young man called me over. Alisha, I didn't come to the show tonight expecting to be brought to tears. Your poetry moved me. Your message is bigger than you. You must keep sharing it. That shy girl who never wanted to share her words get transformed into a diva. Friends and strangers alike kept commending my courage. When I speak to friends about my journey, they're quick to say, coming out of 57 took a lot of courage. When I share that I socially transitioned at work, only 3 months in, they shake their heads in disbelief and commend my courage. When I perform my poetry for 300 of those colleagues, one of whom is here today, at a holiday party, sharing my story in that vast room, they expressed admiration and awe at my vulnerability and courage. But none of this feels courageous. Standing here, sharing my authentic self and my truth with you isn't scary. It's empowering. What takes courage to step out of routine, to embrace discomfort and potential chaos. That guy who on New Year's Eve 2022 unabashedly entered Target and bought himself 5 pairs of ladies' underwear with a resolution to seek a little bit of happiness, that took some courage. Because it takes courage to pursue genuine happiness, especially when you realize it doesn't always come in small doses. Sometimes you're forced to drink from the fire hose. On some level that night, I knew I was awakening an urge that had slumbered for years, relighting a spark, confronting my fears, warding off shame and regret that could smother the flames, standing ready to take all the blame for igniting a powder keg that simultaneously blew up a 4 decades-long relationship and settled the ashes into a journey of self-love and acceptance. Shame be damned. That took some motherfucking courage. I was happy and free my feminine life over a partner of 33 years, my wife. Recognizing this bizarre love triangle could only bring strife. It took courage to choose Alisha, the woman I've become, committing to this choice knowing past love might succumb. Because in my queer truth, I am fearless. I opted for a windy mudline path to an uncertain future over the straight freeway to a comfortable existence. Gotta be careful with that. We're going the complacency of privilege for a life on high alert. We're constantly looking over one shoulder, then the others, isn't a luxury. It's survival. My former self mustered the courage to step up and accept any and all responsibility so that I can live authentically. I chose to burn down my sense of self because my gut told me a phoenix will rise from the ashes. So no, I don't feel courageous when I share my story. I am courageous as I persist in my truth. Have you ever had an epiphany where something murky suddenly becomes crystal clear? Performing in front of 300 of my colleagues was exhilarating and inspired me to seek bigger stages. But first I had something more important to take care of. Over the course of 6 months, I came to realize something my wife had seen right away. Our marriage couldn't survive without one or both of us being something that we were not. In early 2024, we met with a trusted marriage counselor and agreed to divorce. That day, my wife said something to me that I'll take to the grave. Alisha, I've seen you smile more in the past 12 months than the previous 37 years in a relationship. I'm happy that you found your authentic self, but I'm deeply hurt that my anchor has been ripped from my life. I want to be friends, but first, you gotta get reacquainted. You're a different person. All along, I thought I'd become the best version of myself. But my wife is right. I've become the best version of a completely new person who needed to form her own relationships. The path forward was crystal clear. I needed to put in the work to build something new with my oldest, most trusted friend. Risk losing her. Just as I had done 3 weeks into my journey, in January 2023, I trekked to Mission Beach on the anniversary of my dad's death. I lost him in 2009 to a sudden heart attack, and each year celebrated his legacy at the spot where we formed many fond memories together. This year, I needed to put to rest the anger and animosity that had manifested when I wrote Predators Prey. January 22nd, 2024, the wettest January day in San Diego history. The wipers rhythmically clear my windshield, barreling down the freeway, fighting the deluge, I race the sunset, undeterred. Thankfully, as I pull up to the boardwalk's edge, the torrent wanes. Yielding my pink umbrella, I exit the car. My black dress clings to my shins as I forge against the fierce onshore flow. Today, nobody else cared to show. Let this daddy-daughter dance, opting for better weather or a venue less exposed. Suede boots toeing the water's edge. I intently scan west. No sun, just gray, a thick cloud hedge. Our annual beach soiree to commemorate that awful day when you passed without warning, and I've never stopped mourning, won't be rattled by rain. The patch clears. A distinct glow illuminates the horizon, allaying my fears. My back's to water, umbrella open, breaking the wind. I pry the phone from my pocket. Unchained melody plays, hips sway. Long lost memories in my mind replay. It's 1990, my wedding day. You and Grandma waltzing together effortlessly. Would this be our special day? Leaning into the wind, I hear you say, "May I have this dance?" For 3 minutes and 34 seconds you were there, watching as the wind whips my wispy hair. I reintroduce myself as that beautiful, confident daughter you were always meant to see. Your smile radiates pride, and despite the biting breeze, I feel the warmth of your presence. 15 years to the day that I lost you, I'm alarmed that the memories of us together have been fading. Today I finally understand. If I hold tight to the past, I don't let myself see the duet you and I were always destined to be. A father and daughter, slowly swaying, holding hands, gracefully waltzing on the rain-compacted sand. Song over. Wet drops on my hand. Looking up, I'm surprised there's no rain. Yet tears of joy, grief, and pain have launched in the breeze from my wind-numbed cheeks. You're gone again. But I feel alive, like I haven't in weeks, months, decades. 58 years in, 15 years late to the ballroom, life offers no guarantee. This I know, Dad. From this day forward, you and your daughter will share an annual dance together for eternity. My name's Alisha, and my poetry is an act of defiance because my life is an act of defiance. Thank you so much for joining me today. Do I have any Fringe performers in the audience? Come on up and plug your show.
Hi everyone, I'm performing with Taptastic. We're a tap dance and variety show. It's actually National Tap Dance Day today. We have one more show today. It's in Pacific Beach at Tap Fever Studios at 6 p.m. We have performers of all ages, for audience of all ages, and we would love to have you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Natalie Gardner. I performed last week on Friday evening with BAM. They're a creative writing and performing group in San Diego. And I'm not sure if we have any more shows.
But if you don't have a show at the Fringe Festival,
But you can definitely check us out every final Thursday of the month at the Whistle Stop. We perform stories there. And there's also a long story short. I think that's every first Wednesday.
First Thursday.
Is it? First Thursday of every month. It's my first time plugging in, so.
My director who's not here tonight, Carla Nell, amazing director, helped me elevate this to a level that I couldn't have envisioned myself. I have two directors who were here that helped me and a stage manager who helped me when I did Stonewall Salon with the Virginary Theater in March, Joel and Danielle. Here, who's been amazing at helping us Fringe performers stay focused and be able to helping us out with any questions we have. And last but not least, I want to thank Hunter, who's been the technical person for all of us here.